The recording has started, so...
We still have to wait till 7. I just got it started because sometimes it has a delay. So
okay.
I would still, we've got like 30 seconds before open.
That's...
Okay. It's 7 whenever you want to go.
Thank you. Good evening. The May 18th meeting of the Milltown Borough Council will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas?
Here.
Councilman Dixon?
Here.
Councilman Legati?
Here.
Councilman Neubauer?
Here.
Councilman Peretti?
Here.
Councilman Zambrana?
Here.
Mayor, we have 6 present.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read the open public meeting statement?
Let the minutes reflect that adequate notice of the holding this regular business meeting of the Borough Council was provided by the adoption of a resolution and the posting, filing, and forwarding of a copy of the same to the official borough newspapers, Home News Tribune, and Star Ledger Publishing Companies on January 9, 2020. Re-notice of access to meeting via teleconference was published on May 6, 2020. Public participation in this meeting will be permitted during public hearings and after the agenda of scheduled matters has been completed. When public comments are open to participants who would like to speak must press *6 on their phones or can press the question mark box on the web or app-based program. This will add a queue and the borough clerk will identify those wishing to address the council.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a moment of silence, followed by a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
United States of
and to the
America.
republic for
To the
which
republic
it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on the agenda, we will have a public hearing. Will the clerk please read ordinance 20-1486 by title?
An ordinance providing funding for the rehabilitation of the water storage tank located in the borough of Milltown and appropriating $423,850 for such purposes.
You've heard the reading of this ordinance. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion that the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and be published according to law.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Legati, second by Council President Farkas. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
So Trina, I actually have to open it up to the public for a Q&A if they'd like to make any hearing on it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So,
if any member
I'm
of the
going to
public
open
wishes to speak. Thanks, Gabriella.
No problem. If any member wishes to make a public comment, they can press *6 on their phone or the question mark on their web or URL-based app. I'm going to open the session now, and we'll give everyone about a minute to prompt in for that.
Q&A session has started.
Okay, it doesn't look like we're getting anyone prompting in, so I'm going to end the Q&A session.
Q&A session is over.
Okay. Thank you. And now we can call them all.
Yes. Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Dixon,
Aye.
Councilman Legati,
Aye.
Councilman Neubauer,
Aye.
Councilman Peretti,
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Mayor, we have 6 ayes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have comments from audience on resolutions. If any member of the public wishes to speak on the resolutions, please follow the instructions from the clerk. Say your name and address for the record. These comments are limited to resolutions listed on the agenda.
So I'm going to open a Q&A session again. If you would like to make a comment on any resolutions, you can press *6 on your phone or the question box on your web or URL-based app. Give me 1 second. Q&A.
Gabrielle, can you hear me?
I am here. It's not showing up. The Q&A is not starting for some reason.
Yeah, I lost every.
Q&A session has started.
Oh, there it is. I apologize. There's no one queuing up, so we can end the session.
Q&A session is over.
So now we'll go on to the bill list. Will the clerk please read the bill resolution 20-105?
Authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $3,433,487.79.
For the reading of this resolution, what is your pleasure?
Move that this resolution be adopted. Second it.
I have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Dixon, that this resolution be adopted. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Dixon,
Aye.
Councilman Legati,
Aye.
Councilman Neubauer,
Aye.
Councilman Peretti,
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Mayor, we have 6 ayes.
Thank you. Next, we have the introduction of resolutions and reports of standing committees. A consent resolution has been prepared to cover the resolutions listed on the agenda. If any member of the council wants any resolution acted upon individually, please give me the resolution number and it will be pulled from the consent resolution.
Yes, Madam Mayor, 20108.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Will the clerk please read the consent resolution, which covers the resolutions listed on the agenda with the exception of 20-108?
Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meeting. And whereas the borough clerk has posted a consent agenda for this meeting, now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and borough council of the borough of Milltown, county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, that the consent agenda previously prepared by the borough clerk be approved without the necessity of having the individual resolutions read by the borough clerk.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move that the resolution be adopted.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Dixon, second by, oh, do I have a second?
Second.
Anyone? Okay. Second by Councilman Zambrana. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Dixon,
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti,
Aye.
Councilwoman Newbauer,
Aye.
Councilman Peretti,
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Mayor, we have 6 ayes.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read Resolution 20-108 by title?
Governing body certification of the annual audit.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Madam Mayor, at this time, I'd like to table 20-108 until our June 8th meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Ligotti. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Well,
Will the clerk please
Yes,
call
Madam
the roll?
Mayor, just let me
Oh,
explain.
sorry. Go
There's
ahead.
going to be a
Sure.
Finance Committee meeting later in the week that there's going to be some discussion on this, and I think it's important that the members of the Finance Committee hear that discussion before voting on this. That's the only reason why I'm asking for it to be tabled.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Okay. If not, will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Dixon,
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti,
Aye.
Councilwoman Newbauer,
Aye.
Councilman Peretti,
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Mayor, we have 6 ayes.
Thank you. Next, we have council reports. This will be the reports from the various departments. First, we have Department of Finance, Administration and Planning, Councilman Phil Zambrana.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The only thing that I have to say tonight is that there will be a meeting being scheduled for later this week to go over with our auditor, Mr. Stankiewicz, on the comments for the 2018 audit. And once we have those comments, we have that discussion, we fully anticipate certifying the audit, the 2018 audit, at the next meeting on June 8th. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have the Department of Public Safety, Councilman Nick Ligotti.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have 2 short reports tonight. The first will be from the Milltown Borough Municipal Court. As you are aware, the Municipal Court is facing some difficult challenges during this pandemic. We will be holding virtual court sessions soon. We have also implemented plea by mail, where a defendant can accept the plea offer from the prosecutor, which eliminates the defendant from appearing in person. The borough website has been updated to advise defendants of the virtual court options and directs them to fill out the registration form. It is not mandatory for a defendant to participate in virtual court, but they have that option. A special thanks should be given to Judge Heitman and to Lorraine Nielsen for their planning and execution that has allowed us to continue juridic cases. Sincerely submitted, Dion Longuillo. On a personal note, on behalf of this council and the business administrator, I would also like to thank Mrs. Longuillo for all her hard work during this unusual time period. She deserves a big thanks from our council. My second report is today's coronavirus report, which really hasn't changed much. The non-essential businesses are still closed, but there are some changes coming due with curbside pickup and things along those lines. Please stay tuned to our website and the county's website for those changes. Social distancing is still in effect. Please abide by them. The Milltown Senior Center remains closed. If there are any seniors in need of information, please contact the borough directly. Please follow the rules for removing rubber gloves, masks, and dispose of them properly. The borough building remains closed to the public. A modified schedule for borough employees is in place to help protect their health. As always, the Office of Emergency Management, police, fire, rescue squad, borough officials, and the county continue to meet so that our borough is as safe as possible. Please check the Milltown website and the county website for all coronavirus updates. And that concludes my report for tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we'll have the Department of Utilities, Council President Randy Farkas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. Next, we have the Department of Public Works and Recycling, Councilwoman Anna Newbauer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also don't have anything to report tonight from the Department of Public Works. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have the Department of Environmental, Health, and Social Services, Councilman Ron Dixon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have no report this evening other than remind everyone what our last meeting that the rabies clinic that was set up for this Friday has been postponed. Any questions, you're going to have to go on the county's website. Right now, there is no anticipation of rescheduling it. And that's my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And next we have the Department of Recreation, Councilman James Bray. James, I just want to say when you were voting, you came in very hard to hear, so just wanted to let you know, either speak up or adjust your mic a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll try to speak louder.
That's much better. That's perfect.
So,
thank you.
Short report, SAC and REC refunds have been requested and issued. Please just allow extra time to receive it via mail, and we thank you, everyone, for their patience at this time. One other piece of information I just want to share that there have been multiple REC committee meetings underway in the past few weeks as we take all things under consideration for future programs in the summer and fall. We don't have any update at this time. We are meeting tomorrow as a recreation committee to, again, review updated guidance and discuss our options, and hopefully we'll have a better answer to announce to the council as well as to the public by our next meeting on June 8th. But thank you, everyone in town, for their patience as we kind of navigate what we can and can't do for the upcoming and foreseeable future. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I will just add to that, the mayors have and business administrators have calls every week with the county, and the mayors have a call with the governor's office, and the questions about summer programs, summer camps, a lot of things have come up for especially the last couple weeks, but particularly last Friday with the governor's call since the beaches are reopened. It's almost Memorial Day, and people were curious about that. And the office said that there would be guidance coming within the next week or two. Today, I followed up on the call to say, people need to plan ahead, regardless of what the town does. If things are starting to open up and people are going to go back to work, they sort of need to be able to plan what to do. And while I know they can't give a hard and fast date on anything, it would just be appreciated if the state could sort of roll out guidance as to what we need to do to prepare, regardless of what happens with the roadmap, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 opening of things. So we'll follow up on that and hopefully have more information at our next meeting. But thank you to all the departments for everything that you've all done throughout these last, 9 or 10 weeks, right? It's been a lot, and we appreciate it. And now we'll move on to our administrator report. Jeanette Larson.
I have nothing to report tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Jeanette, may I ask you a question, please?
Sure.
Do we have any other, and actually this might be for you and the clerk, do we have any plans to do a different platform for the meetings going forward?
We do. We obtained a Zoom account, which I believe that Gabby will be rolling out for the next meeting. Gabby, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Great.
I intend to roll it off the next meeting. I'll be scheduling a test run with the council prior to advertisement to make sure it's all working properly, but we'll have it probably this week sent out to you guys for a test run, and then we'll advertise accordingly to the public.
Good, because I have gotten some feedback, and people were wondering. A lot of people are used to Zoom, so it's much appreciated that you folks have taken that into consideration. So we'll look forward to that in June. Now we'll move on to the engineer report. Mike McClellan.
Yes, Madam Mayor, just a short report tonight. 2 items. First is DOT applications are due July 1st, plus or minus 6 weeks. We will work with the administrator and Councilwoman Neubauer to discuss the list of roadways and get back to you at your next meeting. That's all we have.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mike. Next, we have our return report. Peter Vignolo.
Nothing to report, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Old business? Does any member of the council have any old business they'd like to bring before the council tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Does any member of the council have any new business they would like to bring before the council? Hearing none, I actually have something to read. I guess it doesn't matter whether I read it in new business or council comments. This has to do with the primary election. Per Executive Order 120 from Governor Murphy, the primary election has been moved to July 7, 2020. The election is still intended to allow for in-person voting. However, Middlesex County is encouraging residents to register to vote by mail. Voting by mail is available to any registered voter. The deadline to register to vote for the primary election is June 16th. The deadline to change or declare a party affiliation is May 13th. Gabriella, is that right? He just did the executive order and that's passed already?
Well, there was an executive order that was previously passed changing the date of the July 7th or the June primary, which normally this week. The executive order that just passed over the last few days is directed towards how the election will be handled. It will still allow for in-person voting. We're encouraging vote by mail, but the deadlines for the registration changed in concurrence with the July 7th date.
So it's not 2 more things about this.
Okay, all right, so I'll keep reading it. Thank you. Registered voters who are unaffiliated may vote at the primary election but will need to declare a party in order to vote. The deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot for the primary election is June 30th. Information regarding the election is available on the Borough website. If anyone has questions regarding registration, polling locations, or other election questions, please contact the Borough Clerk's office. And that's my...
I do have a question about that,
next we will
Mayor, if
move,
that's okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just would like
Sure,
to
go ahead,
know,
Nick.
are we planning on having 2 polling locations or 1 with the reduced expected people that are going out to vote? Just curious on if we're going to have 1 or 2, or if we even know that answer. We may not yet. So
I have a conference call with the clerks of the county and the County Board of Elections this week to discuss the implications of the new executive order. And nothing has been directed to us from the County Board of Elections yet, so I wouldn't want to announce anything of that nature yet.
okay.
So hopefully we'll know by our next meeting, which is June 8th, right?
We should have answers by June 8th.
Somebody wants to know even sooner.
There is an entire page dedicated to elections on the clerk's page on the borough website. Everything has all of our applications and it has up-to-date information as we're getting it. That will all be sent out, and I'm sure the county, if they limit the polling locations in the town, will require us to do some form of notice to those affected voters. Again, as soon as we get more information from what the county wants us to do and where to move forward, then that's how we'll present it as that happens.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Cut out. Any other questions? Okay, if not, we will move on to audience comments. If any member of the audience wishes to address the council, please follow the clerk's instructions and provide your name and address for the record.
We're going to open another Q&A session. If you're on your phone, you can press *6 to be added to the queue, or the question box on your web-based app or URL-based app.
Q&A session has started.
We don't have anyone in the queue.
Okay.
So, I guess, would you like me to end the session, or?
Going once, going twice.
Okay.
Q&A session is over.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now we will move on to council comments. Any comments from the council tonight?
Yes, Madam Mayor, if I could have a moment.
Sure.
I just want to put out to everyone as a little reminder, we're about a little more than halfway through the month of May, which is the Milltown Rescue Squad's annual fund drive month. If you haven't already and you were planning to, please mail your donations to the Rescue Squad as soon as you can. They rely on these funds to run their operations from year to year, and we really owe at least that much to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council? Okay, hearing none, I will move on to accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Ligotti. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. Thank you all for joining us this evening, and have a happy Memorial Day, and stay safe and stay well. Thanks very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Good night.
Everybody.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Night.
Goodbye.